Hello, my name is Audrie Gordon, and welcome to day 11 of the 25 days of co-pilots. Today, we're continuing our discussion from yesterday about AI Builder GPT models. But today we're going to focus on why and how you might create your own custom prompts, effectively making your own GPTs for use at work. So let's jump right in and look at these up close inside our app. So I'm in the same app I was in yesterday, and you can download this solution if you go to aka.ms/25 days of co-pilots, spelled out but no spaces. There will be the information about day 10 and 11, which kind of go together, and then the solution that I used for demonstration purposes in case you want to try to reuse it. Just remember that you'll have to have those AI Builder credits in order to use it. Okay, so yesterday we looked at all of these different GPT models, kind of the out-of-the-box version. And if you didn't see yesterday, take a look at that. Today, we're going to look at a different screen in this app where I have configured two new prompt actions, okay, or AI models in this case. Now, why would you want to create a custom prompt? This usually results from you discovering a prompt that works really good in a particular business scenario or for a particular team, okay? So let's say our company has proofreaders in all the world. But the proofreading teams do work a little bit differently depending on the region they're working in. So what I have created is a proofread text specifically for the United States. And this is because we have noticed that there's some variation in spelling, especially in other English-speaking countries like the UK. So you may find that spelling changes. But I specify in this prompt, and let's look at the prompt. Here is the proofreader prompt in AI Builder, and basically it has one dynamic value, which is the text that they type or paste into that box, and it says proofread this text, check spelling as it would apply to English in the United States, and make suggestions on how to improve tone and conciseness. So this is different than actually like using spell checkers in an application, because spell checkers in an application will recommend a change. And you right click on it normally and you pick which one. This is actually going to rewrite the text, removing the spelling errors and making it more professional and concise. Okay, so let's see how this one works. When you're making custom prompts, you often have to add dynamic values. Yesterday, we were using prompts out of the box with one dynamic value, and this one also has one dynamic value. Okay, so let's go back here, and let's just press play, and I'm going to paste some text in here. Now, I do want to show you that this is just an essay. It's an essay on the impact of technology on society. And I made sure it has some spelling mistakes. It also has some grammar mistakes, a few typos, right? And basically all I'm going to do is use my custom prompt. And again, this is not going to recommend change. It's actually going to rewrite this, removing all the typos and the grammar mistakes. So you'll see introduction is now correctly spelled. The grammatical error about we are explore is now we will explore. I think, where did we have people? In positive impact on communication. See, brought people, easier for people. So let's find out. So this made it easier for people to share information. That was under positive impact. So they actually changed this and made it more concise. This has facilitated the sharing of information, exchange of ideas, and collaboration on projects. So pretty sophisticated. And of course, a human would review this and decide whether or not this is good to go. All right, so that's one example. Here I'm specifying how to do something that the foundation model really normally knows how to do, but I'm specifying kind of what I want you to do about that. Another example actually came from an idea with a customer. Open up this one. It's called Illustration Creator. One of my customers said to me, Audrey, how do you create bridges in people's minds between what they've done in the past and the Power Platform? And I thought right away of my public speaking training back in the day, where they talked about using illustrations, examples, prompts, parables, in order to take a complex topic and make it more simple to understand. So I said, it's probably going to be possible, power of GPT foundation model behind AI Builder, to actually do this for me. So let's go back and see what that looks like in the app. Now I'm going to delete this, and I have a little bit of text about solutions. Power Apps Solutions is something I have had trouble to explaining to new users, especially those who have never deployed apps before in their life, and so they've been working directly in production to build things. So I took this technical explanation that comes directly from Microsoft documentation on what is a solution, and now I'm going to run my Illustration Creator prompt. And let's see what it comes up with. Again, I do say I should probably clean out the previous one so that while we're waiting, we're not looking at the old one, but I didn't do any housekeeping. Okay, so here's what it came out with. Imagine you are a chef who wants to share your delicious recipes with other chefs around the world. You have a collection of recipes, each with its own unique ingredients and cooking instructions. However, you want to ensure that the recipes are consistent and can easily be shared and replicated by other chefs. In this scenario, the recipes represent the apps and components in Power Apps, and the chefs represent the users or developers who want to use or customize these apps. The solution is like a cookbook that contains all the recipes and additional information needed to create the dishes. And then it goes on, and I'm interested in seeing how it goes from like the illustration, like what are they comparing it to? The solutions being compared to a cookbook that will be used by chefs, so those are the users of the solutions. And as it gets beyond the solution, it begins to also give technical details about what a solution is and the concepts involved. And so I thought it was really cool, right? You should try this, download the app, put some technical hoopla in the left side, and see if it comes up with some good bridges that help the mind understand complex topics in a more simple way. Now, these two still use one dynamic parameter or one dynamic value, but you can have one that has multiple. So we're going to look at this one that I've done, which is a way to compare expressions. So I'm going to look at this one, and notice in this one there are 3 dynamic values. Okay, and I think I made a mistake. Examine is what I meant to write, but I think it understood it because it tested well. Okay, examine these 2 expressions to determine, I'm just going to save that right away. Examine these 2 expressions to determine which will be better to use in Power Apps in order to accomplish, and then your job to be done, or your goal. What is the goal of what you want to accomplish? And then what is your first idea for an expression, second idea for an expression? So now you actually have a goal and you're comparing 2 things to see which is the best. All right, so now let's try this. I actually put together a kind of a decent question here. My desired outcome or goal is I want to load 4 collections: product, customer, sales order data, and sales order header. And all of these tables are in a SQL database called Sales LT. All right, here's my first cut at this. I think I should call them out line by line. Clear, collect, and customer, product, and I just put them in order. But then I was thinking maybe I could use the concurrent expression to make it a little better. But I wanted to kind of get some advice on which one of these are better. So I clicked compare expressions. And now it gave me a comparison response. Both expression 1 and expression 2 can be used to accomplish the goal of making 4 collections on screen load in Power Apps. Expression 1 uses separate clear collect functions for each collection, which means that the collections will be created one after the other. This can be useful if you want to control the order in which collections are created, or if you need to perform some actions between each clear collect function. Expression 2 uses the concurrent function to execute all the clear collect functions simultaneously. This can be more efficient if you want to optimize the loading time of your app, as it allows the collections to be created in parallel. But then look at how it helps you with the decision tree on the bottom here. I was pretty impressed. Ultimately, the choice between expression 1 and expression 2 depends on your specific requirements and preferences. If you need to control the order of collection creation or perform actions between each clear collect function, expression 1 may be more suitable. If you prioritize efficiency and want to optimize loading time, expression 2 may be a better option. So I was pretty impressed here because even our Power Apps Copilot that's built in, the control itself, it has some limitations on what expressions it can build. But when you're powered by GPT, right, therefore you can go and look this up and find out what are the appropriate expressions for this goal, and then literally do an intelligent comparison using artificial, of course, intelligence. And then the human intelligence jumps in and kind of validates. So I'm not going to do it in the app, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. I did an interview planner version of this where I said create a plan of action for 4 interviewers working across a single day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So now I'm actually getting the power of GPT to help me plan strategically. The candidate is available to meet all the interviewers and is applying for a role in, here's my first dynamic value, what their role is that they're applying for, in blank, which is the career level. So the name of this dynamic value is not blank, it's career level. All right, so this would be early career, mid-career, and senior, right? Include questions that will enable whiteboarding by the candidate so we can determine ad hoc thinking abilities. Leave room for 15 to 30-minute breaks between interviews and 1 hour for lunch halfway through the day. So imagine our group of interviewers. So let's say we have 6 people on the team that participate in what we call interview loops. We can decide this is the structure we want for our interviews to be planned. And then they vary, the answers really vary based on the role and the career level. All right, so if we want to test this, we only have dynamic values in this case because the rest of the prompt is there. We don't need to change that prompt, but we need to tell it what would be the candidate role. So I'm just going to say technical writer for the role. And then for the career level, I'm going to say entry level. Okay? And then test this prompt. And I find this very interesting because we've gone beyond suggesting text to suggesting strategy. And the power of this is worth adding to an app, you know, as opposed to letting people decide, let me go out to GPT and get some help. If we decide this is the way we'd like to structure these days, then we can create this prompt and just give the interviewers a way to get some suggestions on questions that they might ask. But here's the whole day literally mapped out based on the role and based on the career level. And you would do that similar to what I did in this particular solution, in that any parameters you need to fill in, you need to make sure there's a place where they can get those parameters filled out, because that prompt won't work without those parameters. So the last thing you're probably wondering is, how do you do this yourself? Because I showed you how to do it in the app, but I didn't show you how I made them. So basically, when you're in the AI prompts section of the AI Hub, you just click Create Text using Custom Prompt. This is the broadest possible application. Okay, so since I want to use this broad prompt opportunity, I'm just going to click Create Prompt. And at this point, I can give it a name. So right up here, just change this name. So I'm going to say Summarize Text for Children. That's just what I'm going to call it. You probably would want to stick with like 3 words or less or something, because you want to make it simple to find no matter where you are in the Power Platform looking for this. Make it as simple as possible. But then my prompt is summarize this. My first dynamic is text input. So whatever the text is to summarize, hit enter, and that pops it in there. In the style of a children's scholastic book, and make the summary easy to understand for a 13-year-old child. Okay, that might be over wordy, but you get the point. Summarize this text. So this is my dynamic value, and I can put as many as I want in here, right? In the style of a children's scholastic book, and make the summary easy to understand. So basically, I'm configuring this model for anyone else on my team to use, and they don't have to know how to create this prompt. They don't have to maybe go through the trial and error that I did to figure it out. All right, so then I'm going to paste. I have a bunch of text here about the United States and how it was born. And so I'm going to paste that in there and say test prompt. It is thinking about it. And now it basically writes this in a kind of a storybook style, like you saw me show a couple of days ago, but makes it very easy for a child to understand how the United States got started. So this is a prompt I definitely want to use again. So when you want to do that, you save. And when you save these prompts in the hub, as long as you are in this environment, you'll see those in your Power Apps. All right, so I hope that was helpful for today to help you see the value of creating your own custom prompts and how you can use them not only to kind of enable people who work around you or for your team, but also to stock really useful prompts that can benefit you in your business. So that's it for day 11. I'll see you tomorrow for day 12 of the 25 days of Copilots. Happy holidays!